Hello, it's Nikki. Today I ran my 60th run. I cannot believe that I'm saying this. It's blown my own mind as much as those around me. In the middle of November in 2023, I decided that I needed to move more. And not move more necessarily in terms of my exercise, more consistently. And as I was coming to the end of 2023, I was really tired and burnt out. I've spoken about this so often. I felt like 2023 was, if it was an album, it would have been called The Ultimate Reset, because it was quite the year. I felt like I literally pulled apart every part of my life and business and reassessed it and then tried to put it all back together. And at times that was very challenging. So I needed to essentially fill up my own tank. And running has been a pal of mine for the last, I would say, 15 years. It's almost been that reliable friend that sometimes I see a lot and we're like in each other's pockets and we have a really lovely relationship. And sometimes I don't see it for a while. You know, when I was pregnant both times, I was not running. I was laying on my bathroom floor. The thought of running ever again just did not ever feel like an option. But yet, when I got back into it, when I picked it up again, and yes, of course, after having a baby, it takes a while to, you know, reconfigure your spine and your core muscles and find them again, because well, I thought I'd never see them again. So it of course takes time, but there is a familiarity with it with me now. And yet there have been periods of my life when I could have easily done it, but I didn't. And in mid-November, I was like, right, it's time to do something once again. And I came up with this goal, which was 15 minutes every single day. And 15 minutes felt really doable. And what I was doing before was, I think, setting the bar so high to do all of the things. And the place that my life is in at the moment, with 2 small children and work and life and admin, all of the things, I have to keep the bar quite low. But what I found is, by keeping that bar really low, the consistency has been ace, and it's been really rewarding, actually. And it essentially feels like I get a sticker on my sticker chart every single day, which is no bad thing as an adult. And I really notice that habit building. Anyway, I've made other videos about this, but I wanted to share an update on day 60. Number one, I want to share 3 things. Number one, my body now expects to go running. It expects it. My family expect me that I'm doing it. Not like every day. It's not like my family are like, wow, you're going again today. Like, they just know that this is part of my life now. And so in the beginning, even, you know, my 4-year-old will be like, I'm going to miss you so much. And now, because I do it all the time, I can literally go, bye, I'm going, and I'm back before, you know, the end of their TV episode or whatever it is that they're doing. And I think sometimes we feel that habits and building them are it's going to take ages. It's going to take years. It's going to be like a 5-year plan. But even after about week 3, I was in the groove of it, and it was quite, I'm not going to say easy, because certainly some days were not easy to get out the house. Winter is very different to a balmy day in November. It's been like -3 in London, so the conditions have not been great. But every day I just expect to do it, and I don't really fight it anymore. I think the first couple of weeks I was really like, oh, but what time will I go? I was overcomplicating it so much. And now I've just got in the sync of it, of like, that's just what I do. So crack on. And even on the days where I've had to do it later in the day, my preference is to do it in the morning. By about lunchtime, my body's like, you need to run. You need to run. Off you go, because you're in a bit of a grump today. Number 2. just because I expect to get out the door now and that it's easy doesn't mean the entirety of the run is going to be easy. And there's always this conversation in terms of running and exercise. You know, the hardest thing is putting your trainers on. Well, I've cracked that. I can do that. I can get my trainers on and I can get moving. But even though I am so dedicated to what this goal is, the amount of times when I go round, I start to get in my head and the voices come out to play of, maybe just go the short way home. You don't have to do all that today. Oh, look, it's so cold. Oh, maybe it's a bit icy. Maybe you should go back. Are you coming? Like, it's so noisy. It's so noisy in my head. And when that happens, I mean, obviously, unless I was injured or I was about to pass out, then I would take the sensible option, of course. But generally, oh my goodness, it's just like, it's unhelpful chatter. I don't even know where it's coming from. And maybe it's old, maybe it's borrowed, maybe it's popping out to say hello, to remind me of how serious I am about this goal. And every time I have to close it down and say, no, because the goal is 15 minutes. No, because the goal is 15 minutes. No, because you haven't finished what you intended to do. And this works. And the quicker I can get into no, but it's 15 minutes, I turn down the volume. And in doing that, the easy thing again could be like, let me just stop and think about it. And what I need to do is just keep moving my legs, because actually 15 minutes goes past really, really quickly. And there's one particular route that I love because I know it's bang on 15 minutes. Occasionally, I've done it slightly quicker, but generally it's 15 minutes. And I know it so well that I can keep myself distracted enough to say, no, just go around the corner. Because when you go around the corner, you'll see the beautiful sunrise and then you're almost home. So don't give up now. Keep going. Off you go. Number 3. So these two things happened back to back. The first was, I think it was on Sunday that had just gone by. I ran later. It felt rushed. We were going out for Sunday lunch and it was all a bit chaotic. You know, when nobody's ready, you're trying to squeeze too much, and that's not a great feeling for me, but sometimes it happens because it's true, I'm trying to squeeze too much. Anyway, I ran and it was as though I had never run before, ever. And everything hurt. I couldn't breathe. I was out of sync. I was running like Phoebe from Friends. I just felt, what have you been doing? Like, this felt brand new. And it was so weird to feel like that, because sometimes when you do a habit for so long, you'll have that confidence sometimes of, wow, I got a PB today, or that went really well, or that felt easy, or I really enjoyed it. And you'll get those positive vibes. And that Sunday, I honestly felt like I was starting again. Like I had no mileage in the bank at all. And anyway, I drew a line under it and I was like, well, that's just what it is. That's what that Sunday run was about. And I did it, and there we go. And then the next day, I ran earlier, so I got to see the sunrise, which again is one of my favorite things. I just love that possibility of a brand new day. And a woman was running towards me, and I smiled at her, and I think I said something like, yes, we're doing it, because it was really cold. And she went, I'm doing it, and it's my first time. And I carried on running, and then I turned back, and she turned back and looked at me, and I was like, yes, go on. And it was such an honor to be part of that woman's first run and to watch her show up for herself. And again, it was a reminder that it didn't matter that my head and my body and all of that felt out of sync the day before. The truth of it was, and I think sometimes we need to remind ourselves, the truth of it was I had been doing it for a long time. I was just having a bit of an off day. And to see that person beginning that process and being that person who could cheer her on and go, yes, come on, do that, like so many other people have done for me. It's quite amazing, you know, where we live in North London, it's quite hilly. I mean, if you live in the Yorkshire Dales, you'd be like, hilly? What are you talking about, love? But we have quite a few hills around. And there have been so many times where I've been running up that hill and like I've had people like clap as I go. I've had people like hanging out their cars going, come on, you can do it. A man once shook my hand as he was waiting at the bus stop. He was like, well done, great effort, really nice. I could tell you were struggling a bit there. I was like, yes, thank you very much. I absolutely was struggling there. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. But so, I had another person who like pretended to like, he did like a mime thing trying to pull me up the hill. Again, it just felt really nice. Maybe a bit creepy as well, but it was fine. It was daylight and I'm sure he was a lovely person. Anyway, I digress. If you have a habit, something you want to do, make it a commitment, because if there are 15 minutes that you have for yourself, and you can show up for yourself every single day for 15 minutes, it will honestly, and I say this hand on heart, change your life. It will change the way that you think about things, the way that you process information. It is showing up for yourself every single day. And the transformation is incredible. And again, you might have all of these things of like, yeah, well, it's all right for her, or you can't do that, or I can't leave the house, or whatever it might be. It doesn't have to be running. It can be sitting or laying on your living room floor for 15 minutes thinking about your dreams. It can be breathing in bed for 15 more minutes in the morning. It can be reading for 15 minutes, whatever that thing is. But something that says to yourself, I am important, I deserve this. And I actually did the calculations over the last 60 days. So I've had a minimum, because some days have been longer, but I've had a minimum of 900 minutes. So 60 times 15, the maths, is 900, which equates to 15 hours. And I am so delighted with that. 15 hours that I gave myself that maybe I wouldn't have had unless I decided this was important, this needed to happen, this was a priority, and now it's a non-negotiable. And already I can feel that 100-day milestone round the corner. And honestly, today when I left on my 60th day, it was the delight that got me round. Like, yes. Yes, yes, yes. And as you'll see, if you follow me on Instagram, I mean, my running vibes are, I mean, my hair looks, I don't even brush my hair before I go. I also don't have makeup and my outfits are not coordinated. And I had a weird hat the last couple of days, but it's fine. I'm doing it. Any questions, any thoughts, any things that you want to commit to, let me know. Also, if you haven't signed up for my monthly moves, we start on the 25th of January. I would love to have you and support you and to make some moves together. Lots of love, and thank you for all the love on Instagram. And yeah, really appreciate it. Who knew I'd be talking about running? Anyway, lots of love.